Welcome to my mess, which is today's project. Today we're going to be removing chrome off an aluminum rim with a sandblaster. It's terrible. So if you want to know, this is not easy to do. Chrome is insanely hard, except when it's peeling, and then it comes off real easy where it comes off. I mean, you could pull it off with your fingers, but everywhere it's not peeling, it doesn't want to come off. The problem is I bought these off of Facebook for 200 bucks because of the tires, and then I realized that these are the only rims they fit on, and so shoot, here we are. But anyway, so I started this blasting, and it's going pretty good. The only downside is it takes forever. You could use more powerful sandblaster with an air compressor, but it'll just mess up the rims entirely. I'm trying to minimize damage on the rims. These will not be perfect. There's probably someone saying that, oh, you should use a grinder and just clean up the bad spots and use putty or what. Maybe, I don't know. We're using sandblasting today. I'll show you what I got for sandblaster. This guy, Harbor Freight. I don't remember what I paid for it, but it wasn't much. My air compressor is not great either, but it gets the job done. But here's the rims. I mean, they're peeling everywhere. I've already done one rim, and it looks like this when you're all said and done. There we go. There we go. So yeah, I got some nickel plating left in a few spots, but it's not bad. That one did the same thing. And then the one I have to do yet is that nightmare. And when I say that this takes a while, I mean it takes a while. The first rim I did took me 8 hours. The second rim took me 4 hours. And the reason it took me 4 hours is because I was going through much sand because I don't have enough pressure. I'm only running about 50 psi. Ideally, it looks like, from what I can tell, around 100 to 120 will work pretty well. It'll keep you moving. So you could, at 120 psi, you could probably do a rim in an hour, hour and a half. I don't have that. So should I go buy rims? Yeah, I should. But I don't know. I'm not spending the money on that. Now, because I'm cheap, every time I go through a pot of sand, I sweep it up. And then I build a sand sift. I may have watched one too many episodes of Gold Rush, but it works great. It's just got some basic window bug screen, fiberglass bug screen, nailed to the bottom of this. You dump the sand in the top, flows out the bottom into a 5-gallon bucket, funnel back in the pot, and reuse. So it saves money. I'm cheap. I get it. We're thrifty. Yeah. No. So I've actually already filled this pot, and we're going to juice it here to 100. We're going to fill that up to 125 psi. It's not sustainable for my air compressor. I don't know what my air compressor CFM is. I don't know. It's back in the corner. Anyways, so that's what we're going to do. So let's get up. As far as protective gear, I follow all OSHA recommended things. Got a fancy mask. There's your air compressor. These wonderful ski goggles that are insanely covered with sweat and sand on the inside. It really exfoliates the skin, which is nice. Remove everything you don't care about. Grab your old Miller TIG gloves. That's going to stop halfway. No, 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 no. You know, the laser on that door Doesn't work in the afternoon if sun hits it. So, Chamberlain, you suck. All right. By the way, this sucks. Ah! You're so hard to hook. Here. Let's do this. So camera died at some point, I don't know when. It just looks like fun. It's not. Cheap. However, this is almost done. I probably have another 30 minutes of blasting on this one rim, and then we can get to the last one, but I'm not taking it all the way down to the aluminum. I'm just going down to the nickel, which is this. I'm getting the chrome plating off. The reason I'm doing it is because as I go along, I can see the oxidized parts that are peeling, and I'm uncovering new spots that were about to peel. They just haven't yet. So gets the bad spots off. Yeah, it's going to have imperfections. It's not going to be smooth, but I'm not going for show quality here. I just need something to put on my truck because I don't want to buy tires. So I got, anyways. So since I'm out of sand right now, as you can see, it's time to start sweeping. To start with, I'm going to blow it towards the center and then sweep it into a line and suck it up. Yep. Yeah, this sucks. You think I've said a couple of times by now, I don't think this is worth it. Like, this is not. This is, why do I do this? It's not worth it. Whatever. We're here, right? So how does the sift work? Well, it works like this. That's it. So all the crap gets filtered out, and then we get the clean sand on the bottom. And filter bucket, and then we'll put that back in the pot, wherever that's at. Pot over there. And filling the pot back up really isn't bad. Well, I'm gonna get back to blasting that thing. I'm not gonna subject you guys to watching that. It's the same thing over and over again. This is not cost effective unless you're going to do nothing today because you're waiting for a pool to arrive, which we are. So whenever that shows up. Anyways, all right, I'm going to get back to blasting. So here is the last rim, and I am just going to hit these spots, feather around the edges, and then, you know, clean up the chrome where it looks like it needs it. I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's a reason to take all this off here or there. There's no signs of pitting anywhere, so we'll just hit the bad spots, and hopefully this will take less than 4 hours. Damn it. Well, after many hours, I've got the chrome pretty much blasted off these rims. And actually, what I'm doing is should you take chrome off rims with a sandblaster? You can, but it takes a long time. Chrome is some hard stuff. This rim took me 8 hours. Took it all the way down, all the chrome off, all the nickel off, all the way down. This one took me about the same amount of time. I didn't quite get all the nickel off, but And then as an experiment, I took all the bad spots off this one and all the chrome off, and I left the nickel where I had to. And then this one, I just got the bad spots, feathered it with the blaster. So you're going to see imperfections, that's for sure. But for what this is going on and what I paid for these and what we're doing, your sweat equity is where the money's at, and that's what we're chasing. So next step on these, I'm actually going to powder coat these. I'm going to fire up the oven over here in a little bit and powder coat them and see how they come out. And then we'll compare and see which one, which way is the best way to do it. All the way, part of the way, none of the way. I don't know. We'll see. I kind of started this video and it was, hey, can you sandblast chrome off of rims? And if you were wondering, the answer is yes, you can. It just really sucks. And you have to use lower pressure, around 100 psi would be great. I did 60 for the most part because it's all American Press would do. It took forever. And it just takes a long time. So you can't do that. Anyways, that's what the original start of this video was. At this point, I am going to powder coat these. I think I've mentioned that a few times. And I'm just curious how they turn out. Can you sandblast them to get the chrome off? And if you do, how far do you actually have to go to get a decent looking rim when you're done? And I'm not saying show quality perfect. I'm not reconditioning rims, so to speak. I'm not that level of guy. I'm just taking some $200 rims and tires I bought off of Facebook because I refuse to buy new ones. And we're going to see how it works out. So that being said, I've got one in the powder coating oven now, and it's outgassing, which basically means you heat it to get all the crap, moisture and stuff that's in the pits and oils and all that stuff, burns it all off. It also helps with something called hot flocking. So basically you preheat the part and then you put your powder on and it actually adheres better. So it's going to do both of those. So I got one started right now. We're going to do basically a base coat color. We got a primer, which is a zinc primer. It's better for outdoor stuff and prevent corrosion, which these tend to have a problem with. And then you put the color over top. So right now that one's getting done, and we'll already pull it out of the oven, and we'll get it hung up here, and we'll get some zinc blown on it, and then we'll put it back in the oven, and we'll let it outflow, which basically means that the powder has just begun to melt, and it really, physically, mechanically adhere to the part. And we'll bring it back out, and we'll hit it with the color. And we'll put it back in, and then see where we're at. And we're going to do this on all 4 of these rims. They're all done differently, different degrees of conditioning, and see how they turned out. I'm going to grab that part. All right. Okay, so we got that coated. We're going to take it, throw it back in the oven. Everything gets caught in these sandals. We're going to set it back in the oven quick, and we'll flow that out. Bring back. One of the big things when dealing with this stuff is, since I don't have a cart, you just gotta not be a pussy. And it's worked an hour ago. There. Okay, let that blow out. Before I forget, if you haven't seen this fancy powder coating oven that I made out of an oven and some filing cabinets, check out the link in the description and you can see how to make that. It's kind of a DIY thing. Remember when you're doing all this that the trick of this isn't the fact that the oven is at 400 degrees, it's that the part is at 400 degrees. So although this has been at 400 degrees for a couple of minutes, I just checked the part with my laser thermometer and it's not there yet. It's only at like 250, so it's got a little more time in there. $260. It's so warm. That is so warm. It's putting my hand. There we go. Fucking A. So I'm not powder coating the bottom. Okay. Pick that bitch up hanging over there. It was hot. Again. Work. Looks pretty good to me. This sucks. Down by the way. In the oven and nuke it. It's so hot. So hot. Where's my glove? Coming through. One rim. Ah. Okay. Okay, we'll let that flow out. Bake for, I think it's 5 pieces package. All the powders are different. We'll try that out. We'll find that, figure out what the time is, the temperature is. It's around 400, probably 390. 10 minutes. We'll go from there. Well, there it is. Last rim is finally done. And this one, by the looks of it, probably the best one out of the 4. This one was the second one, which we took all the way down to bare aluminum, and I spent some time on this one feathering it out, and it actually came out the best, I think, out of the 4. Let's look at the other 3. So if you see these, this is the sort of done one. I took this down to nickel, and it looks like it adhered real well. Again, I didn't, go crazy on cleaning this up. This wasn't a brand new rim type deal. It's not what we were going to make. It's not a show truck. This is more of an off-road truck, and I just want something basically so I can get it around the yard without the tires going flat because of the chrome all the time. And this was the one which we did the least amount of work. It's got some dust on it, but looks like it came out pretty good. I would say okay. Before we get into this, and this one. Again, took this one down all the way to the bare metal. I didn't spend a ton of time on this one, feathering it out, just basically just clean it up and tried to get it, so the chrome wasn't peeling off. And I think that kind of answers what I was looking for. Yes, you can sandblast chrome off of a rim. You have to use lower pressure. Around 100 PSI is ideal. Again, I did these at 60, and it just took forever. The other thing is, you can either do a little work or a lot of work, but basically from what I've seen is if you blast out the rust spots, you're going to have to feather and blend just like you would any paint job. I just didn't want to spend the time on these because for what's going on. It's going on an old 4x4 C10. They're going to get beat up anyways, so the nice thing is the chrome is no longer on them, so you can pick them up without slicing your hands because the chrome is peeling, which is great. So I think it's going to wrap it up for this. I think these wheels are going to work out great. If you guys want to give it a try, go for it. But again, I'm not a professional at anything. I don't do powder coating professionally. I do it for fun on my own stuff. The rims, this is just something, again, I picked up off of Facebook for a couple $100 to save some money. And I had some time, so with some sweat equity, you can get halfway decent looking rims that will last you a long time. Anyways, with that, I'm going to wrap it up. That's going to do it for this project. Stay tuned for the next one. And if you haven't, because most of you aren't, subscribe and like the channel. So, we'll see you. Thanks, guys.